I have now almost 18 years of experience in this industry, so quite extensive, I would say. And it all started, I would say, by chance, when back in 2007 in Italy, the first online licenses were issued by the government. So with a friend of mine who back then owned a bingo hall, we decided together to create a company called Gioca Comodo and create one of the first online gaming company in Italy. I was working for a private equity firm. I dropped everything and I started this, entrepreneurial experience. And after 3 years, things went pretty well. We sold the company to a major offline Italian operator. And then I continued to stay in the industry, a little bit as an entrepreneur, creating another startup, and also as a manager once I started to work for BetClick as a head of Italy. And then I transitioned into my international career, moving to London to manage the international markets of BetClick, and then to Belgium to become the CEO of Napoleon. And then I moved a couple of years in Croatia, working for Fortuna Entertainment Group as the CEO of their Croatian entity and part of the executive committee of the company. And eventually I landed in Casumo 3 years ago. And I've been servicing as a CEO of Casumo since February 2023. Well, I will be very honest. I mean, it was the chairman of Casumo, as simple as this. So back then, the chairman of Casumo was Per Widerström, with whom I worked in Fortuna. So, I was looking for something exciting, and we got in touch again, and then there was this opportunity in Casumo. So they ended up selecting me, and then Per transitioned into William Hill, and I stayed here. As simple as this. And then now I am now surrounded by a great board, a great team, and I am enjoying the journey. I found Casumo Casumo needed a big shake, let's say. It came from a period where a number of CEOs overlapped over each other. So there was, in terms of continuity, in terms of strategy, governance, a little bit of unclarity, let's say. So 2 years ago, together with the board and the management team, we started a full transformation project. Again, a few things were not in a good shape. So we started working on the technology, on the product, on the commercial activities, on the people, of course. Today, I would say that we are in the middle of our journey. It's not over yet, but we are in a much better position than we were just, again, a couple of years ago. And I'm very proud of what the team has done and what we have achieved. Absolutely. The challenges were, again, finding a company which was not really fit for purpose, to be very honest. I knew that it was part of my mandate. It was challenging. Managing a turnaround, it's always very challenging. It's not my first turnaround, to be honest, but for sure it has been the toughest turnaround of my career so far. Today, fortunately, we've been able to transition Casumo from more .com markets into regulated markets, which makes me very happy and proud, also in terms of value creation. So today we are growing, well-positioned in core regulated markets, and this is the strategy for the future. We want to continue this path, getting stronger into regulated jurisdictions, making sure that we create value for our shareholders. I don't know the industry, to be honest. I mean, I still see a lot of strange things happening, but for sure that's the direction for Casumo. Yes. Look, I've always been a regulated CEO. I always manage. I mean, maybe 20 years ago, no, not really. When I started, everything was .com. When since the regulation kicked in Europe at least, I always managed regulated countries. I'm a regulated CEO. So, I mean, that's what I know. That's what I do. Mm-hmm. Today, we are more than 200 people. We operate in 4 hubs. So we have Malta as our headquarters. Then the second biggest hub is in Macedonia, which we opened at the very beginning of my journey. So we opened it at the end of 22, beginning of 2023. And from 2 people, we have today in Macedonia, I believe, almost 70 people. Then we have an office in Zagreb, where we are circa 20 people. From Zagreb, we manage most of the marketing and the data, including artificial intelligence. And we have another important office in Jeep, where our CFO, our Chief Compliance Officer, and our Director of Product sit. Mm-hmm. Yes, I mean, that would be, of course, a desired end destination, right? But it's impossible, let's be honest. I mean, governments, nations don't talk to each other. Gambling jurisdictions are different by nature. They won't be harmonized. There is no intention from the European Commission to harmonize them. They've been very explicit about it. They don't care. It's a great pity. Especially for the players at the end of the day, because, you know, it's more difficult to protect them if you have different jurisdictions and laws across the board, but that's the reality. So for operators, of course, it's very difficult to operate in multi-jurisdictions because of the diversity of the differences you have. And I would say that today the most important thing when you look at a country is not really the marketing, is not really the population, the demographics, etc., but it's the compliance environment, the compliance synergies that you can create with what you have. If you don't have compliance synergies, well, it's very difficult to, at the end of the day, becoming profitable in a jurisdiction because it's another game. And every time you should start a different, completely different game, which is not efficient, of course. I left Italy many, many years ago. Last time I managed Italy as a country was for BetClick, and we are talking about 10 years ago now. So I'm not an expert in Italy, but from the outside, I believe that the big companies in Italy have done a great lobbying activity, as simple as this. The market is now very concentrated. I believe that the top 5 operators count for an 80% market share, and this is exactly what they wanted, as simple as this. So the government is happier because they are cashing in 7 million per license. The operators, or the one that stayed, are happier because they got rid of the competition, and you know, it's a win-win for those who stayed. The players will have less option, but still, I believe that they've assigned 46 licenses. It's a decent number. I mean, players will still be able to choose among a number of, you know, operators, and the commercial offers will still be competitive. I mean, in terms of new regulated jurisdictions, I believe this is unavoidable. The governments are just more conscious of the fact that people gamble, and they mostly gamble online, and there is no way to stop it. The new technologies, are too evasive, basically, to have a control over them. So rather than controlling them, they regulate them, which is the right thing to do. It's a win-win for the governments, for the players, for the operators, I believe, at least legit ones. So I believe that the trend is set, the direction is absolutely clear. More and more countries will regulate over time. It will be not a short journey, it will be a long journey, especially if we look at Asia, I believe. You know, it's a big chunk of the world. But again, that's the direction. When we talk about hybrid model, I strongly and deeply believe in hybrid models, land-based and online integrated, omni-channel. Let's say I manage companies that were both land-based and retail and online, like in Belgium and in Croatia. And the synergies that you create, the brand equity that you get from an omni-channel operator are absolutely fantastic, exceptional. The trust you get from being hybrid, from being omni-channel, it's something that it's difficult to replicate only through an online environment. Look at Italy, where not by chance the most 3 important operators, Sisal, Automatica, SNAI, are heavy on retail, just to give you, an example on a jurisdiction that we discussed a few minutes ago. So I wouldn't be surprised if a few operators would try to leverage the online brand into the retail arena. That's, in my experience, more difficult. Usually it's vice versa. You start from the land base and you migrate into the online. Not very often I've seen vice versa. So I would be positively surprised if a few online operator would migrate into the land base, but why not? I mean, again, there is a matter of trust, a matter of brand equity, presence on the territory, which would be leveraged from such a strategical initiative. The market, it depends on the geographies, I believe. If we look at Europe is very much consolidated. The fragmentation is less and less. Also, local champions are now owned by major groups. So it's a trend that has been here with us for the last, I would say, 10 years, and it's going to be with us for the next foreseeable future. Regulatory complexity, taxation, which will for sure increase, will just lead to additional consolidation in the sector, for sure in Europe and in the western part of the world. When we look at other jurisdictions, Africa as an example, Middle East, Asia, South America, we are looking at a market that is where the Western market was 10 years ago. So I believe that there is more fragmentation there. But again, in 10 years' time, I'm sure that M&A will be stronger, and we will see a consolidation like it happened in Europe and in the Western world over the last few years. It's unavoidable. As far as the governments will keep regulating, as far as the compliance bar will rise, it's unavoidable. You need to consolidate to create synergies and scale. AI, it's a very interesting subject. There is, I believe, from one side, a lot of hype around AI, but from the other side, I believe that we are seeing the first real use cases adopted also into the online industry. What I've learned about AI so far. First of all, AI is all about two things: data quality and governance, and about, again, people. So you cannot have AI if you don't have the house in good order in terms of data architecture, data governance, and data quality. It would be garbage in, garbage out. So you really need to be ready for AI, which is not so easy, which is not so granted, okay? You need to prepare for AI. Second, people. AI scares people. Okay? AI is scary. Oh my God, I'm going to lose my job. Which is true. Okay? I mean, the fear is true. I mean, yes. Okay? So you need to educate people, and you need to make sure, at least from an ethical point of view, let's say, that you use AI to boost people productivity, not to replace people. And this is the message I always give. Okay? How it will go, we'll see. We are just at the beginning of a journey. In Casumo, we are adopting AI in customer service, of course, marketing. A lot of our campaigns are AI powered. Video creation, content creation, copy creation is more and more AI powered. Are we reducing the number of people? No, not really. Are we boosting our productivity? Yes. So I hope that that's the direction. I still don't see, to be honest, a gaming company managed by one or two AI agents, at least not a regulated one, and not at least for the next 2-3 years at least. In reality, it was already there. I mean, if we look at the softwares that the industry uses for player protection, we have very sophisticated softwares already for responsible gaming checks, anti-money laundering checks, affordability checks. So I believe that the industry is quite already advanced in terms of adoption. It was called machine learning just a few years ago. but AI will be just an evolution of machine learning. So I believe that what will change won't be really the way with which we detect harm, as an example, but will be the way with which we act upon harm, which will be more automated and more time effectively. So the way with which we'll identify harm will follow the usual path, because the softwares are already very evolved. But after the harm has been detected, the AI will help us to intervene faster and better. What happens after the detection? So what happens before, and we are already there. I believe that the softwares are already very solid in terms of results. What comes after? So, okay, this player has a problem. What do? Usually I was able to intervene in 20 minutes. Now I'm able to intervene in 1 minute. The machines will tell me exactly what to do, what to say, how to manage each single case on a more tailored basis. That's what I'm trying to say. For Casumo, I believe that, as I said at the beginning of our interview, we are in the middle of our journey, in the middle of our transformation. So I want to complete this project. I want to make sure that, we close the gaps that we identified 2 years ago, and that we become stronger and stronger in our 2-3 core markets. We are very focused on ourselves for the time being. For the industry, I wish that the regulators would have stronger, fiercer enforcement against the illegal operators and the illegal market, which is huge, which is richer than ever, and represents a huge threat for everyone. And unfortunately, the behavior is very passive. And this is a source of frustration for me and for many other CEOs, I believe.